whatever doesn't kill you simply makes you stranger.
Griffith Did, man. You know, you got the videos. Y'all all know him, man. Griffith did nothing wrong. You got Griffith did everything wrong. But I'm saying Griffith did. This is the thing about it. This world of Berserk, man, is a cruel world. You know, it's not a good world. It's a fantasy, medieval, dark world. It was never promised to be a good world that would lead you to heaven or lead you to Avalon like King Arthur. Like, none of that was ever said, man. And I want to talk about the idea of evil. The idea of evil was a chapter that was took out, but still, I believe I read it still was canon. It just was introduced at an early time from Miura. I believe that's the author. But that's the chapter that was taken out, but still canon. The idea of evil was just people's thoughts on what God was and their ideas of what the devil was, and it made this monstrosity. Now, all it was just people's, how do you put it? I guess like how Goku gathers people's energy from the spirit bomb, and that kind of a way like that, but people's passions and thoughts and dreams, kind of like the fire in Berserk when Guts is looking at everybody's fire of their dreams, kind of like that, essence, if you will. So the essence caught that, and that was God, basically, which was basically evil in that world. That's my interpretation. Now, it's not that Griffith did, wrong or Griffith didn't. He just did. That's the world. It's just like the animal kingdom. Sometimes lions just tear things up randomly. Sometimes cheetahs just tear things up randomly. Sometimes they tear things up for food, for the good of, the other animals that they're with, man, for the cubs that they have or whatever. But sometimes it's just showing their strength. Is that good or is that evil? You know what I mean? Is that the right thing or the wrong thing to do? Us being humans and having the thoughts that we have, man, we think we know what's right when all it is what is. I believe that's the lessons that the author was trying to teach us. There is no right, wrong, evil, good. It's just what is. If you want to sacrifice your quote-unquote friends to get to the castle, that's just what you want to do, and if you have the power to do it, you do it. That's what Griff had the power to do, and he lost it, and he was able to get that power again. He had to sacrifice more friends and closer friends. So he just chose to do it. Let's talk about Sasuke leaving the village, man. Sasuke, he left, and he knew he had to leave his friends, and in the back of his mind, he had Itachi telling him, the only way to get these guys is to, kill the person closest to you or whatever. He didn't do that, but he sacrificed friendships and the comfortability of the Leaf Village. He sacrificed that, but there was a sacrifice. Now, was that evil? Was that the right thing? It was just something Sasuke did, man. That was his way of attaining power. Naruto did his way of attaining power. You just do. Like, people had these hopes of a better God in Berserk, but there wasn't any. There was the idea of evil, and then there were the apostles. That's it. You know what I mean? Those were the gods. So it's not necessarily that Griffith did something wrong, man. Griffith just did. That's what his whole dream was, and he knew he had to sacrifice. We just get so personal, feel so personally attacked because it was people we grew with too. What about the little kid that he cried over? You know what I mean? He could have been part of the story. We just didn't see it. We didn't feel that bad when that kid died. But that kid was with him for a couple of years. That kid was getting molested. We didn't feel as sorry. It's because we followed, Pippin and Guts, and we followed Casca. We followed what's my the one? Is it Bascon? No, Bascon was the one he fought. What's the? I can't remember my man who got Goku's voice. Oh my god, I can't remember his name. Anyway, man, we followed Judo. You know, and that's why we felt so hurt and betrayed. You know, the betrayal that they felt, we felt the same way, but we didn't feel that with the other soldiers that died. It just was part of the game. This was another war. You know, Kazka and Guts survived it. You know what I mean? But we didn't look at it like that. We looked at it like, but Judo didn't. You know what I mean? And that's where we fall short in our way of thinking. You know, you have to look at the bigger picture. Griffith just made a choice. He could have made the other choice. Would that have made him a hero, or would that have made him stupid? Wouldn't have had his body back. He would have been a cripple his whole life. No tongue. You know, they made the choice to go save him. Guts made the choice to leave, which led to that choice. Like, we can go through so many movies to where somebody just did. Griffith could have made that choice and had power whether he knew it or not to save him after he became a guy. This is the great debate, and what makes the manga so good, man, is we have a choice, and that's all that it is. It's a choice. What animal are you? How vicious are you? You know, how kind-hearted are you gonna be? Like, there is no doing wrong in that world. In our world, we have our own set of rules. You know what I mean? We none of us have met an idea of evil or a god, but there is plain to see. We can see what they are, and you know, we would look at it as evil. That world thrives in evil, man, and that's why Griffith made that choice, which I think is why the author took it out, the idea of evil. But it was simple to see right there. I think the whole premise and the whole understanding of that whole part in the manga is the world is evil. To do anything of notice, to get you somewhere, you have to do evil. My personal opinion, you got to do that in this world too. Like, everybody who I know who has money has done some crazy, horrible things to get there, and they continue to do them. But that's a different story, man. You know, it's what that world is, man. That world is an evil place filled with evil people. You know, you have good spurts of people doing some good, but even look at Guts, he's a murderer. So I like that line on Game of Thrones when the Hound tells Sansa, I'm a murderer. Your father was a murderer. Your brothers are murderers. You know, your sons that you're gonna have, they're gonna be murderers. Like, that's the world that we living in. That's why I love Game of Thrones used to be good. But that's the world they live in. We cheer for Guts, but Guts is murdered a lot. You know, some of them, y'all don't think they deserved, you know, what happened to them? Some part of them? Like, they're murderers. They are the villains to some people. The whole world is evil. And then the people that they fought, they were murderers. I can't remember the guy, the Purple Rhino Knights general. I can't remember his name right now. But he seemed like a good, honorable dude. He fought Guts honorably. Guts low-key cheated. You know what I'm saying? Guts low-key cheated. When he took Zod's sword, man. Zod threw him his sword. Guts was beaten. Zod threw him the sword, took him out. But my man seemed honorable. Like, ain't that evil for Guts to cheat? Or that's good because he's our hero and we want to see him do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not that Griffith did nothing wrong. Griffith just did, man. just did, just like a lion would just do, just like hyenas just do. It's like wolves just do. Are wolves evil when they bite at people? No, we just know that's just what they do. Griffith was gonna get to that castle by any means necessary, man. It's their fault for following him. Guts' first instinct was not to follow. He just was too weak to beat him. He shouldn't have took that deal. That was his arrogance. I could beat him, you know. I could whoop his ass and get out of here. Nah, man. Griffith beat him. Made him part of the Band of the Hawk, which made him get branded in the long run. Guts had a decision, man. Casca had a decision. She wanted to follow, she wanted to follow that fallen angel, man. That's on her. All of them wanted to follow Griffith. That's all on them. Yeah, that about wraps it up, man. I could talk about Berserk for days. Griffith just made a choice, man. Griffith did. That's all it is to it. Don't be a nigga.
I would say that it could be something like a god.
More like a demon.
Who knows? Is there a difference?